Oh, g'day there and welcome back to the Mad Monday podcast, brought to you by 4 and 20 Pies, the perfect at-home snack for watching the rugby league. My name is Tino Fa'asua Manaiawi. I am joined by, what are we going to go with, Tohu Henwood.
Hemi
Hendux. In the seat opposite me. How you going, mate?
Still recovering what was a tough night in the commentary booth, a tough night as a fan.
Yeah.
I've been drowning myself in the sweet, delicious gravy of a 4 and 20 pie since then, basically. It was what I suppose the depression that it gives you is it was such a Warriors loss. Mm-hmm. If you've been a fan of the club for, the 30-odd last years, it's such a Warriors loss. All up, all to play for at halftime. Technically, we won the first half. We had the obstruction try.
Oh, my God, yeah.
But we just capitulated in the second half. Every time we were on there with a full set of 6, we dropped the ball on the second or first tackle. It felt like half a dozen times.
It's just, like you say, it's so Warriors and it's so frustrating and it's so good to have all of the people that jumped on the bandwagon last year. I'm actually, in a roundabout way, and this could be just copium, I'm quite glad that we've had the season that we have. 14th, I think, on the ladder is our spiritual home. It's our Tūranga Waiwai sitting in 14th. And for all of the people who got on up the wires last year, this is what it's actually about. It's about turning up week in, week out in the sideways pissing rain to watch your team just fuck it up on the first tackle every time.
Yeah, and don't worry, for those who want to stick with the potty, I've got an off-the-back fence that will have some tips and tricks for being a Warriors fan.
Oh, yeah, brilliant.
A real Warriors fan. Because this is the thing, is to be honest, I'm happy 14th. There's no more mathematical chance.
No.
There's no more, we're 9th. If only we'd won that game. Nah, we've faded out. Now, with that obstruction call, what is pissing me off so much is just run through the line.
Don't stop in it, yeah.
Like, Capewell just trotted up and slowly stopped. And DCE could have run round him.
Yeah.
But gamesmanship played for it. The lead runners just sprint through the line.
Yeah, but even then, I saw, maybe on the Thursday night game, I seem to remember the refs being like, oh, look, yes, there was an, what do they call it, an impeding or whatever, earlier on in the play. That player wasn't going to make the tackle. They weren't going to stop the try. So there was a little bit of, referee's discretion. But then they went straight back to letter of the law with our one.
Yeah, they had that, was it Nathan Cleary maybe, who... Yeah,
someone like that. And it was like,
where they went, no, Isaac Tungle made a defensive read.
Yeah, and it was like, yes, they might have been stopped there, but they were never going to stop that try. But then our one, it's like as if DCE was going to get over there and make a try saver, you know?
Now, I'm wearing a Warriors top and a Black Caps supporters cap, right?
Yep.
You're steady as ship. How close are the Black Caps and the Warriors, do you reckon?
Oh, so close.
Glimmers of hope and joy. Granted, I'll give the Black Caps, they've won a World Test Championship, right? So they have actually won a big comp. But we feel so similar, eh?
Yeah.
We'll like take out Aussie in a T20, then we'll get beaten by Bangladesh at home.
Yep.
You know?
Afghanistan will light us up at the Cricket World Cup.
Oh, we've got no form guide.
Yeah.
You can't pick, okay, and just settle in, this is going to be a good season. Because we came off last year, ideally.
Yeah.
I'd like, this is it, this could be our year.
Yeah.
Now I worry that we've got James Fisher-Harris coming, but we've also lost SJ.
Yep.
We're little bit rudderless in the halves, eh?
Oh,
Lukey Metcalf, yes.
Yes, it was great to have him back. And you're right, but I would also, there's been a lot made of the wins that we've had without Sean Johnson this year. I wouldn't be shocked if we had a halves signing in the off-season.
Or wild card, maybe Tane Tuapiki as a half.
Yeah?
He's a
Potentially.
5'8".
Yeah, and then because I know Metcalf's been talking about he wants to play halfback. I don't think anyone would be too opposed to that, would they?
No. Well, I mean,
Tamati's been doing a good job, though.
yeah, Tamati feels like your more bog standard organising half.
Yeah.
However, no one's really lighting it up with the kicking, eh? And I think that got shown up on the weekend with DCE,
Oh, my God.
who had one of his best games.
This was the first note that I wrote down. I picked our game day good punt for Friday night, and it was a 40-20 because I love getting on 40-20 whenever DCE is playing.
Look, for those who aren't au fait with Manaia's punting, normally he'd put $100 on an elephant to come on the pitch during the 22nd minute of the game at Brookvale.
Yeah.
But no, he went like straight up 40-20. It was paying good odds.
Yeah, it was like, I think it was actually paying $4.20.
DCE drills those.
Pinpoint.
And shit, it's a momentum shifter.
I don't understand why we don't see more 40-20s in the NRL. It is such a massive play. The amount of people that actually go for it is so low. Why wouldn't you just have someone... Because if the 40-20 didn't exist and then we brought it in tomorrow, all of a sudden everyone would be trying it. Everyone would be having a crack for a 40-20. I don't understand why it doesn't happen more often.
I was thinking about it yesterday. Why don't teams set up for it like they do with a drop goal?
Yeah.
You know, where you play to the... You know you're not going to score a try.
Or get out of your own half.
So you play... You're having one of those tough sets. So you play to the middle of the park. You set your kicker up on whatever his angle is.
Yeah. And run the 40-20. You're telling me that Matt Burton couldn't snap off a 40-20 at will?
Oh, Matt Burton, he could kick a 20-20.
Yeah. So, I mean, Reece Walsh did like 2 weeks ago.
Even more so in Union, where it's only a 50-25.
Yeah, 50-22. That's one of the more
50-22.
It's one of the more ridiculous rules in rugby union. But they've generally got wingers back there, so that one's harder to do. Whereas
you've got, and your fullback stays a lot deeper.
Whereas in league you don't. That's why they're able to get them off.
And there's no more master than DCE.
No.
I think he was the difference in this, and sadly, he has had the wood on Sean Johnson.
Mm.
And to make it even worse, they played the grand final in 2011 as two bright, sparkly-eyed young halfbacks.
Mm.
And it was exactly the same score as the 2011 grand final.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Far up.
So what a way for Sean Johnson to go out against DCE.
Yeah,
the same score that we got pumped
and so
in the GF.
As he's walking off the field, they start booing him. What was that about?
Got to say, I love it.
Yeah?
That's Manly for you.
Right.
That's Brookvale. They're the hard. It's a respectful boo.
Right. Because you don't boo shit players.
And if I was SJ, actually soak it up. Because that's the last time he'll get booed, I reckon.
I think he did soak it up, it looked like.
Because he looked like he was in quite a good mood. He gave a good halftime interview. Obviously, the game didn't go the way he wanted. He took a pretty heavy shot from Olakau'atu.
Yep.
At one point, which I'm sure he will not be missing.
I reckon that was when he was just like, yeah, right decision.
Yeah, and soak up the booze. Because he's not going to get it again.
No.
It's respectful. He's got Bulldogs at home. Regardless of how that game goes, this is a send-off game.
Yeah.
For Shawnee J. Then he's got the Sharks. Granted, when he was at the Sharks, it wouldn't have been the peak of his football. However, he still got Player of the Year at the Sharks one year.
He led the league in try assists while he was
Him
there.
and Britton Nakora.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
They teamed up beautifully. So I think he'll get a nice, rousing send-off at the Sharks. So, no, I mean, it's just very Manly booing him off.
Yeah.
And damn, Manly have got a likeable team this year.
Oh, they got an awesome team. I love that team.
They've got two hard games. They play the Sharks, then the Bulldogs. No, they've got three more games. Sharks, Bulldogs. They've got a tough run home, but they could be playing for the top four.
As long as Turbo is healthy, they are a completely different team. And then, like you say, they've got players across the park.
They can't even fit Tolucola back in.
I don't even think he was on the bench, was he?
No, or I heard Brock Roach call him Talau Koala there. the other night.
Shout out to Blogger.
Shout out to Blocker, nailing the pronunciation 24/7. But I was looking back through Warriors seasons. No one can get on an end of season losing streak like the Warriors. I'll tell you that.
It is a tough one, particularly when you look at so yes, mathematically we can't make the 8, and we're just crunching the numbers out in the office. The Dragons are on 28 points, we're on 21, 3 games left, highest we can get to is 27. So we cannot make the 8. Don't let anyone tell you we can. For a guy like Adam Whenua-Blake, why wouldn't you just chuck it into neutral? All you have to play for is a massive career-ending injury. There's nothing.
But then if you chuck it into neutral, do you have more chance of the injury?
Well, yeah, I don't know. Because there was that weird blip earlier on in the season where he didn't show up or he didn't celebrate after that Panthers game. Then he got binned for the next game. It was all just a little bit weird.
He actually, I thought, played the best game he's played in a long time against the Sea Eagles. He played 71 minutes.
I know, but like I've been saying, he's not going to check out once he's on the field because you still have Paseka running at you. You still have to make that tackle. Once you get the ball, they're coming to tackle you. You have to make that play. But I just think, the vibe around, he doesn't really seem to celebrate with the rest of the team. If you ever watch the game, if you go down to Mount Smart this weekend, you can kind of tell the body language is
and how he doesn't really stand in the huddles.
Yeah. And I just feel like, I know none of the players will have a problem with him. They'll all be matey with him, but it just, that kind of thing does weigh on a team, I think.
I actually wonder if there is anything
brewing
behind the scenes this year that's meant the playing group have been slightly out of step with each other.
Because they're the same team that had that season last year. That everyone was on the bandwagon. People were screaming up the wires from the rooftops. It's the same dudes.
Except arguably RTS came back in. Granted, look, I'm not an excuses-based person, but we've been hammered by injury, man. The losses we've had where Rockaberry hasn't been there. Granted, Graham Taufa and Leotawa have been great, but they still need a lot more time.
Yeah.
They're not one-on-one tacklers like Rockaberry is.
Tohu's out.
Yeah, Tohu's out. I just hope
Metcalf.
Tohu gets on the City Mission lollies over the summer and just gets some energy back in his game.
I wouldn't
because the poor dude looked a bit knackered. So I'm hoping that this time off's been a good thing.
I think we'd bring him off the bench as our middle rotation player.
Yeah,
of course, and Dylan Walker can stay in that 13 jersey. It means we're going to have to take the captain's armband off him, but I got to be honest with you, it feels like Mitch Barnett's our captain anyway, doesn't it?
Yeah, and it seems like it was all smoke, no fire around Dilly Walk's leaving.
Yeah. Let's see how it plays out over the next few weeks.
Yeah, maybe that's something that just subtly happens in the off-season, eh?
Yeah, there's no press release or anything. Or they wait until another big signing and then they release their press release as well.
Yeah, because we can't just release Dilly Walks because he plays with great pace.
Oh, yeah. No, he's been great for our team.
I'd love to I mentioned in the commentary, I'd love to announce Jerome Hughes coming to...
I don't think we'd get Jerome Hughes, but Dylan Brown?
Oh, yeah. Hey, how weird is it? I was looking at the comp. There's suddenly going to be a dearth of, halfbacks are going to start. With DCE will go...
SJ.
Boren, SJ.
Chad Townsend.
Luke Carey. Well, Chad Townsend's got signed at the Roosters.
Oh, is he?
He's playing at the Roosters next
year. Yeah, there is going to be a dearth, so I don't know. Hopefully we can pick up some sort of half. Just this weekend, I've just picked up one stat that I'd like to run past you. Somebody's put together the tries scored versus tries conceded. The team that concedes the fewest tries in the National Rugby League this season is the Canterbury Bankstown Bulldogs. They concede 2.67 tries. We only score 3.7 tries. So I can't see Sean's farewell going too well this weekend.
No, I watched the Bulldogs game. They look like a clinical team that's getting ready for finals.
Yeah.
And So one of my criticisms has always been that I feel the Warriors struggle to get up for big games. I'm looking at Anzac games, the game against Brisbane in the prelim, grand final, yada yada.
Blah, blah, blah.
However, we got up for Mannering's 300th, and we had a real gutsy win against Canberra that day.
Right.
So let's get up for SJ.
Yeah.
Let's get up for SJ, and if he can just, I do notice he hasn't been stepping much.
No, I
But
don't
the
think
poor
he's...
dude, I think he's when you're dealing with Achilles business, and he had a bit of a limp towards the end of that game.
Yeah.
So, I mean, surely he plays.
Right now, what we're doing is fluctuating between being like, this is going to be awesome, Sean but then he's also injured. But it's going to be, but they don't allow many tries. But then it's going to be the last game. But we don't get up for these kind of games.
And it's just that the tough thing, I think, is this is a must-win game for the Bulldogs because they want that top 4 spot. So it's going to be between them and the Sharks and Manly, I think, for the top 4.
Yeah, they're my second team as well, I think, now that we're out.
I've never been a big fan of the Bulldogs, but this
neither.
year, there's something about the way they play.
Only in the last month or so, I reckon.
I really like Jacob Preston.
Yep. I like Sherry.
I like Carraz.
Everyone loves the Fox.
And
Everyone loves Burton.
Everyone loves Critter.
Kick out. They're a PlayStation
How
team.
was that? How was that? Edo Carr getting run down by the hammer.
Yeah.
And did you see Fox how they put up the speedometers on them?
Yes.
How really? How are they? Really? Are they really going that fast?
Nah, because then they put up a side by side, and the hammer was clocked at 40 point something k's an hour, and then Usain Bolt's top speed was 44 k's an hour. I was like, oh, get out of here! It's right up there with the VB hard earned index. It's like that's a crock of shit.
Yeah, I know, but it's because surely you've got to have 2 exact points.
Yeah.
You've got to have tracking software.
Yeah.
They just get, but I love it how it's fluctuating. Like he's going 36, 37,
now he's going
35.4.
Like there's a cop down there in a bush with a radar gun.
But he ran him down beautifully,
Yeah.
and then the Fox got one back.
I don't read too far into either of those. All I read into it is that I just have a sinking feeling that the Dogs are going to get us on Friday night. But anyway, I'll be commentating that one at this stage by myself, but I'll be live from the ground. We'll have a special guest commentator, I think. We're going to take a quick break and come back and talk about the Stonka of the round. But just before we do, if you want to be there at Sean Johnson's farewell game, you can be. This is our last chance for you to win tickets thanks to the 4 and 24 pack prize pack. Just text GAME to 3236 and you'll be in to win tickets to the Warriors game and 4 and 20 pie vouchers. So that's GAME to 3236. We'll be right back. All right, if you can just join the ACC team for a massive rugby league weekend in March of 2025, I think you know what's going on around then. Text VEGAS to 3236 to book your spot. I think there's only a couple left, but right now it is time for the Stonka of the round. And it had to be the Knights versus the Sharks. Was it 19 to 18?
Yes, in fact, a game that 4 minutes into this, I thought it was going to be a 40-point blowout.
Yeah.
Because the Sharkies got 2 very early tries to Atkinson, who I'm loving this Daniel Atkinson.
Yeah, where did he come from?
He's just a young little half. He played a blinder of a game, and then Britton Nakora crossed over in the 7th, and it was all the Sharks.
Yeah.
Then the Knights sort of pulled right back into this game and led it almost to the end. How are the penalties at the end?
It was ridiculous. It was out of control. That was the note I put down, was this thing was a penalty fest. And particularly towards the end, I have never seen it called the blocking penalty for the drop goal attempts. They were putting blockers in the way, which every team does.
Which I thought I sort of understood on the Knights one. But then on the Sharks one, it just looked like, well, where are those players meant to stand?
And what are they supposed to do? Are they not allowed to just
stand, because they're just standing there.
Yeah.
And the kick is set so far back.
Yeah. I think it was just a case of the referee's blown one against these guys. He's going to have to blow one against the other guys as well. But I've never seen that. It's ridiculous.
Because that was such a bold move, because I think that Knights drop goal went over.
Yeah.
Then he called the penalty back on them.
So then he had to give the other one, and then in the end they made a real point of not having anyone standing there, and our man just stood as far back as he possibly could.
Old
no
Atkinson.
blockers. Atkinson just bombed one, hit it as high as he possibly could, give it every chance to go over, and it did.
And that puts the Sharks right up the ladder now.
Well, they're balling without Nico Hines at the moment. What's going on?
So I think he'll be back for finals. The Roosters are on exactly the same points as Cronulla on 34, so that puts them at Roosters at third, Cronulla at fourth. How crazy was that Roosters game and the slop fest?
I turned it off because I couldn't see the field, to be honest. It was raining that hard, and then it's like the drains were blocked.
And so they spent $828 million on that stadium 2 years ago, and they don't have drainage.
They couldn't just drill a hole in it?
Brookvale, in the game beforehand, had the same rain, but that drained out fine.
Yeah. It was still pretty wet, but yeah.
There was one where old Hectic Cheese jumped out of dummy half, ran, and then somehow turtled it on his back about 15 metres slide.
Yeah, it was ridiculous. It was actually quite tough to watch. And then despite all of that, all of their Supercoach players for the Roosters went bang. But yeah, this stonker of the round, Knights versus Sharks, I don't really know what to read too far into that one, other than the fact that despite losing Nico Hines, the Sharks are...
I mean, the Sharks are so... I still don't have a hell of a lot of confidence in them, because even though they went buck wild 44-0 against the Titans last week,
yeah,
they have been losing. They have been looking a little bit shabby.
I couldn't put my finger on what it is that's so good about the Sharks.
I think, is it Mulatalo, Ramian, Katoa?
The back five.
Plus the back five. You chuck Adam Fanua Blake in there.
Don't bring it up.
They're going to look pretty good, man.
Breaks my heart. Yeah, I know. But then, like, if you go player for player, I don't think they're that much better than us.
Yeah, I suppose what worries me, jumping slightly back to the Warriors again, is all the teams around us seem to have stepped up, like the Dogs, the Dragons, Manly. A few weeks ago, I would have said the Titans, although the Titans are back into a slump. But yeah, I can't see the Sharks winning the comp.
No, nor can I.
I think it's definitely between Penrith, Melbourne, Roosters, and my two Smokies are Bulldogs and Manly.
Yeah. I think it's Storm versus Panthers in the final. But yeah, the Roosters could be right there or thereabouts.
Yeah, I shot the gun and bought tickets a couple of weeks ago to the grand final.
Yeah. Beauty.
So I'll be there.
Where is it this year?
As always in Homebush in Sydney.
Oh, yep.
On October 6th, I believe. So I'll be there in my Warriors jumper with the family. We've got the whole whānau going over for a week in Manly.
Beautiful.
And then I have to confess, I enjoy going to a non-Warriors grand final.
I've never been.
Because I've got no stress. You're just going along to watch possibly the worst Tina Turner impersonator you've seen. You might get a glimpse of the legend Jimmy Barnes.
Yeah.
You know? Then the Choir Boys played last time I was there.
Yeah.
They weren't allowed on the field, though. They played in the stand, Run to Paradise, then faded out through a couple of other tunes that no one knew. And it's a real occasion. It's a bit like a Magic Round because everyone's there in their different jerseys.
Yeah, right.
People love a Warriors fan.
Yeah. Well, they say they do, yeah.
I think because we're a lot of people's second teams. I mean, there won't be as much fizz as last year.
No.
Last year it was up the wires all day, mate.
Yeah. I'd love to get over to a NRL grand final. Hopefully we can do that next year. But yeah, that is your... Oh, my one last takeaway on the stonker of the round. This is a note to the mainstream commentators. They've been doing a great job of pronouncing a lot of the harder to pronounce names. I'm just going to need you to hit the K in Nikora a bit harder, just a little bit harder. It's coming out as a G at the moment.
Oh, yeah.
And I was playing it out of the office, and a couple of people was like, "What did he just say?"
Yeah.
I just need you to hit that K a little bit
Nikora.
harder. Nikora.
Also, a few people are doing it.
Nikora?
No, chucking like in Isaac Tungle, Blake Tungle,
Yeah.
just putting a bit of an N in before the G.
Yeah.
Tago. They often go the Tago.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. If you're a Polynesian player, you've got 2 years before anyone actually figures out how to pronounce your name.
Or you've got 2 years and then they've just really bedded in the wrong one.
Yeah, and you're Papali for the rest of your life. But yeah, hit that K.
Hey, it's worth also looking up the Hall of Fame
Inductees. Yeah.
You got your legends like Sam Burgess and JT and that.
Greg Inglis.
Look up Les Boyd.
Well, I saw Blocker going off about Les Boyd. I was reading a little bit about it because it was before my time.
Oh, he's before my time. He was 1983.
Yeah.
I would have been 5. He, if you look up Les Boyd broken jaw,
Yeah.
he comes flying in with just a straight pointed elbow to the jaw
Of Blocker Roach.
and got of Daryl Bowman, I think it was.
Oh, sorry.
And
Yes, big man.
Big man, and he got 12-month suspension. Then he came back. 3 games later, he eye gouged a dude and got a 9-month suspension.
So you're saying Jared Hayne might be in the NRL Hall of Fame yet?
Just chuck it out there.
Bungie's in there. They're going to announce another Immortal, I think, later on this week. If you had to guess, probably by the time this podcast comes out, people will know who it is.
If I had to guess, I'd say Bunty R4. Or Cam Smith. It's got to be Cam
It's
Smith.
Cam Smith for sure, isn't it? He's getting inducted into the Hall of Fame.
It's got to be Cam Smith. The guy, as much as he grinds my gears as a player,
Yeah.
he was bloody good.
Okay, so even odds between Bunty R4 and Cam Smith there for the inductees. One last thing before we take a quick break. Latrell Mitchell, have you seen this story? He is now been asked to front the Rabbitohs board, so obviously they put him on leave for the rest of the season after photos allegedly came out of him with some sort of white powder. We think he could have been writing down his Keno numbers or something like that. You don't know what
Yeah.
that white powder was. Who knows?
He could have been doing very specific baking.
That's right. That's
You know,
exactly it.
sometimes you really need to cut the flour up, you know?
Could have spilled his
Also,
rara.
I see they're changing his contract.
So this is the thing. He has to now go and face the, board, whatever, and they're going to say, why shouldn't we, because he's breached his contract, presumably, why
He's
shouldn't
breached
we,
it a few times.
yeah, why shouldn't we downgrade you and pay you less next year? And he's going to have to fight for his contract there. And I dare say he'll just turn around and be like, because you guys need me.
Yeah. I love Latrell, and he was in such awesome form before he got this Liz Frank injury.
Yeah.
Liz Frank. I don't know. Liz?
Shout out to Liz.
Shout out to Liz. You've really hurt a lot of players over the years.
She needs to be stopped.
But he was having a great season. He had the blinder in the Origin 2 game that really brought New South Wales back into it. But I think people struggle with him because if he makes a mistake, he's not one to just wear it
No.
and apologise. He goes into shutdown mode. Granted, when it's around something like you can't, you don't want to dob yourself in.
No.
Maybe wait till the statute of limitations goes.
Like 15 years.
It was like, remember when Ponga was in the toilet
With Kurt Mann.
with Kurt Mann?
And they were talking about real estate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just because there's nowhere else to really chat about being a landlord. Eh?
Yeah, that's right. So, yeah, I don't know. I don't think anything will come of that. I think they... Because if I was him, I'd be like, okay, well then end my contract and I'll go back to the Roosters for, $1 bazillion a year. Well, why wouldn't you?
or go to the Warriors as half.
Hide 'em might. We turn blind eyes. All right, let's take a quick break, and when we come back, Dai's going to come off the back fence.
Oh, a long kickoff. The offload to Henwood, and he's off the back fence. Boom time.
Here we have it. We've got some tips for your bandwagon fans. We've got your tips for your fans who've just slid on to this Warriors buzz after an amazing 2023 season. If you're one of those fans that you were tuning into the Warriors back in 1995, you're John Kerwins, you'd just been watching Fenella Barfield on 345 Live, then you stay up for the Warriors. These tips might not be for you because you know how you roll as a Warriors fan. You know that we've made the finals 9 times out of 30 years. You know it's few and far between where we taste glory, where we taste victory. But all these new ones, all you jumped on last year, you think that every game is like going down to Studio 54 and giving Ryan Reynolds a blowy. Well, it's not like that. Sometimes you're at the Empire, gobbing off G Lane, you see? Sometimes it's not exactly how you think it's going to pan out. It's not all superstars with a beautiful downstairs. Sometimes it's a horrendous human being that you've just bumped into, but you're giving it a go because you love it. I don't quite know how this ties into the Warriors, but the point is, it's not about winning. We join the club to support the club. And if you can't handle winning, if you can't handle losing, you should just leave. When we win, I'm a happy man. But if we lose, who cares? It's just a game. I can't change it. I can't change how the players do it. I show up because I love the club. I show up because my kids were raised out at Mount Smart, going to the game since they were young'uns. They feel part of the community. The Warriors are a community. One day we'll get there. Will it be tomorrow? No. Will it be next year? Probably not. We might not even make the top 8 next year, but I'll be watching every game. Why? Because I bloody love the club. All I'm saying is you got to care less. You got to care less and don't give G Lane a gobby.
Beautiful words. True words have never been spoken. Thank you very much, Dai. And thank you very much, everyone, for tuning in to this week's episode of the Mad Monday podcast. We'll be back on Thursday to break down the team list. G Lane has actually been stood down this week, thankfully. So
will SJ be in the team list?
Well,
tune in on Thursday.
You'll have to wait till Thursday, even though you'll see it on the Tuesday. But anyway, we'll see you then. Uru, enjoy the rest of your week.
Great.
And Australia without rugby league is not Australia.